Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of Canadian Mosaic as part of Awaz Entertainment. I'm your host, Prashanth, and tonight our episode is going to look at cryptocurrency. What is a real deal? A cryptocurrency is a tradable digital asset or a digital form of money built on blockchain technology that only exists online, which means that it's not the same as paper money. Tonight, I have the pleasure of introducing Aaron Sequeira from Mississauga, Ontario. He was born in India, raised in the Middle East, and did his undergraduate studies in Canada. He's been passionate about computer engineering at an early age. He's worked on well-known firms like IBM in Germany, Nortel, tech startups at Waterloo, and is passionate about anything related to technology. Tonight, he's joining us at the studio to talk about cryptocurrency. Welcome, Aaron, for joining us today. I'm delighted to have you as part of the show. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Prashanth.
Absolutely. So, Aaron, let's talk a little bit about your journey behind why you got so invested in cryptocurrency. Was there a reason behind why you got involved in this? Because it sounds like you are very passionate about it, and you simply just enjoy talking about this. So, share us your motivation behind this.
Sure. Yeah, I think it was a little bit of FOMO and just a string of luck. So I remember first learning about it. It was in 2012. I was on a train ride to my summer job, and just before I was getting off my stop, I saw a magazine someone left there. I picked it up, and the Royal Canadian Mint was having a contest for the best ideas on how to spend their new mint chip. And the most voted on idea was to buy Bitcoin. So I thought it was a joke. I thought people were comparing it to a failed currency from the 90s. As soon as I got to my work, I Googled what Bitcoin was. I saw that it was trading at $11 per coin, and it had just been at $4 a coin earlier that year. I thought, hey, this is a bit too high. It's gonna come down a bit, and it crashed to $7 a coin. And I thought, let me wait a little bit more. It went up to 13. I thought I'll wait some more. And the rest is history. It's at $60,000 per coin right now. I didn't get in back then, and I kind of wish I did now.
Are you glad with the fact that you jumped on board with this crypto?
I am, yeah. I think it's done well compared to other asset classes. Yeah.
So Aaron, I want to ask a little bit about what makes cryptocurrency such a viable investment option as opposed to traditional kind of investments versus stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and even in real estate, right? So what makes crypto a good option for people to invest in?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's the volatility right now is just going. It's a bit crazy. I think that provides a lot of opportunity. It is the crypto market is also open 24/7 compared to like the stock market or the forex market, which even is only open 5 days a week. Compared to real estate, for example, I mean, you got blind bidding. So in comparison, crypto is an open book. So I think it's a lot more favorable in some cases.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So before we continue, I want to take some time to learn about the different terminologies that's been used in crypto, right? So there's this acronym, crypto, coins, token, ICO. Can you kind of give a little bit of a breakdown of what each of these kind of mean?
Sure, yeah. So the ICO is initial coin offering, similar to IPOs, the initial public offerings, where developers will sell you to hopefully raise enough funds to fund their development efforts. Now, coins are virtual currencies used to trade, purchase items, and this is all on the blockchain. And cryptocurrency at its core is a virtual currency. It's not paper currency, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Tokens, on the other hand, the way I understand it, it's kind of like the TDC tokens. So you can exchange it for a ride.
Okay.
But go outside that universe and you can't buy bread with it, for example. So that's where the currency comes into place.
Interesting. Are cryptocurrencies different from blockchain?
Yeah. So I would say the distributed ledger is the main foundation of that technology, of that protocol, and it's the fact that everyone can read from the ledger is an open book, and I think that's pretty powerful. And there's several coins and cryptocurrencies based off of the blockchain protocol and variations of it.
Yeah. Interesting. So there's another terminology that's kind of been floating around, but what exactly is a crypto wallet? And the common question is, what happens if you lose that wallet ID?
Yeah, that's one of the risks right now with cryptocurrency. But I suppose with with real life wallets too, you could lose it. And if you have a custodian of it, like, so if you're given this to a bank, for example, you'll find it in the lost and found. So there's some ways to recover a wallet. If you have a recovery key, you can go through a couple of questions and get it back. But a lot of people still use their thumb drives or a paper-based method of storing their private keys, and so that's really, once it's gone, similar to losing your wallet on the street. Yeah.
Got it. It's another term that is commonly used is that mining. So what exactly does that mean, and what do the miners in the cryptocurrency?
So that's a good question. So for mining, really, you have to you can buy some hardware, some specific hardware that can work for you, or you can download some software. So the way mining works is that you have to solve a puzzle. Think of me, if I'm a computer right now and I'm thinking of a number, you'll ask me, is it 1, is it 2, is it 3? And you just keep going until you guess the right number.
Right.
And the second you do, I'll reward you with a coin. I'll say, this is, you are now a node in the network and you can post transactions. So that's really the incentive for doing the work.
Okay.
And that's called a proof of work mechanism. There's other ways, proof of stake, proof of burn, and so on. But really, as a miner, you get coins as an incentive and pieces of the transaction that you post to the ledger. So anyone can get involved given the right amount of capital.
Got it. Why are there so many different types of cryptocurrencies? Because you hear about a lot of buzzwords here and there, which I'm sure you're going to go into. But why is there so many options? And what are some top ones that people can start sort of take a look at to get an understanding of it?
Yeah. So I noted down a couple of big ones here, and this is probably going to change over the next couple of years. Bitcoin is the king right now, and that really So this is part of the broader universe people are calling decentralized finance, and there's many applications. The top of that list is Ethereum. There are a lot of people building applications off of Ethereum, and Dogecoin is another big one. The thing with Dogecoin is that 14 million coins can be minted per day. So there's that inflationary aspect to it. But one tweet from Elon Musk and send this coin over $1 a day. So there's some of that going on as well. Litecoin is another big one. It aims to process a block in 2.5 minutes versus Bitcoin in 10 minutes. So it's a little faster on transactions. I thought Filecoin was another interesting one. They raised 200 million in 30 minutes. It's used to store data. Tezos is another one for smart contracts. Loopring is trending right now. The BAT, this is one from the creators of the Brave browser, which is the basic attention token used to have viewers using the browser earn money from ad revenue. So there are a lot of big ones out there, and they each fall in different categories with different use cases. But yeah, it's a big ocean right now.
Right. Yeah. So Aaron, where do you get your information from? Because stocks and everything are something people can go online or NASDAQ and all these things. So where do you get your information to be on par with things that are going on with the crypto?
Yeah, that's a good question. So you can start off with YouTube. There's a lot of free videos people are posting on there, in the hopes of you buying their course and so on.
Right.
But there are a lot of exchanges now as well, and they provide you with the information, or at least the links to the creators' websites, where you can read more about their white papers, their use cases, and so on.
No, it's really interesting. So let's take a short commercial break, Aaron, and then when we come back, we're going to take a look at applications and risks of crypto. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
आपकी रिहाइश ऐसी हो जहां जिंदगी की सहूलत मयसर हो, जो आपको बुलंदियों पर ले जाए, तो मिलिए रियल एस्टेट मार्केट के एक्सपीरियंस्ड रियल एस्टेट प्रोफेशनल अमित ओबेरॉय से। GTA में रियल एस्टेट मार्केट के हर अंदाज से वाकिफ। आपको घर खरीदना हो, बेचना हो या करना हो मुनाफे का इन्वेस्टमेंट, मेरे तजुर्बे से आज ही फायदा उठाएं। आज ही कॉल करें अमित ओबेरॉय 647-291-8102। अमित ओबेरॉय, beautiful homes you can afford.
KK Travel believe in providing everyone the first-class customer service. We take care not only for your air ticket, but dignity and respect as well. We are available for you anytime on WhatsApp, even while you are in Pakistan or any other destination. KK Travels guarantee lowest prices and are open to price match any airline.
We are KK Travels under supervision of Kas Khan at 905-367-9433 or visit www.kaskhontravels.com.
दावत इस्लामी का एक शोबा जामियतुल मदीना, जिसकी तकरीबन 891 ब्रांचेस दुनिया के कई ममालिक में कायम हैं। कमोबेश 67,000 इस्लामी भाई और इस्लामी बहनें बगैर किसी फीस के आलिम और आलिमा कोर्स कर रहे हैं। इनमें हजारों वो हैं जिनकी अकोमोडेशन, खाना पीना दावत इस्लामी के जिम्मे है। आप भी डोनेशंस के जरिए इस शोबे के साथ ताउन कर सकते हैं। आपके चंदे यानी डोनेशन को किसी भी जायज दीनी, इस्लाही, फलाही, रूहानी।
अगर आप चाहते हैं खूबसूरत विजिटिंग कार्ड, साइन बोर्ड्स, बिल बोर्ड्स, तो कॉल कीजिए अमनदीप सिंह को 416-577-5128 416 डिजिटल साइन।
कॉर्पोरेट इवेंट्स हो या शादी की तकरीब, बर्थडे एनिवर्सरीज हो या हो बेबी शावर, और अगर आप चाहते हैं स्टूडियो सेटअप, रेंटल बैकड्रॉप्स, हार गजरे या पार्टीज के लिए फ्रेश फ्लावर अरेंजमेंट, देन कॉल आफिया खान at 416-628-7849. Essence Event Decor, creative, elegant and
Welcome back, everybody, to Canadian Mosaic. And tonight we have Aaron from Mississauga in the studio. And tonight our topic is all about crypto. What is a real deal? So, Aaron, before the break, we talked a little bit about what exactly is crypto. But I would like to shift the focus into some of the applications of crypto and its associated risk, because I think that's something that people need to understand what it's really about. So, beyond a method of payment, what are some functionalities of cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's smart contracts is a big one right now, where we're bringing about the concept of code is law, where everything is codified into a contract, so there's no ambiguity over what needs to be done. There's proof of ownership, identity verification as well that can be used. The blockchain can be used for. And this is good when you're doing transfers of property, real estate. You can prove the deed is in there in the proof of ownership as a token, non-fungible tokens, which we'll probably talk more about in a bit. Mm-hmm. There's also video gaming and entertainment applications for it as well. There's this game right now called Axie Infinity, where it's this whole universe of Tamagotchis. If you remember Tamagotchis,
Yeah, I do. Yeah, back in the 90s, I believe.
Yeah, you can raise these creatures or these pets and send them off into battles and then start selling them. And there are people in the Philippines that are using playing this video game as your sole source of income since the pandemic has started. Mm-hmm. So a lot of applications, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, very interesting. So again, payment is one thing, right? So cryptocurrency sometimes are also used for illegal activities, right? So what are some risks associated with that? Not everything, I know everything can be put towards the illegal side, but what are some risks associated with cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, you gave me a good example earlier about streaming music and how even that can lead to theft and so on. And I think that this comes into play with a lot of new technologies. Roy, my brother, earlier was giving me the examples of gift cards and how they still ask for your identity to be verified when you're buying Visa cards at the shoppers down the street. And so I think with any new technology, with the rise of the automobile, the printing press, there's always safety concerns, job loss concerns, theft. So I think that's always going to be there with new technology.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, it's definitely, there's a bit of a risk when it comes to anything related to technology. So this is one of those things that people need to understand when you're getting into this business, I suppose.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So another question that's kind of out there is, what do the miners make money on these transactions? Sorry, how do the miners make money on this transaction? Because if they're awarded like in a Bitcoin or something, what is the impact on the supply?
Yeah, that's a good question. So With Bitcoin, it's a bit interesting because you're solving this puzzle using a lot of computational power, a lot of electricity, which is one of the main criticisms of it. But if you're awarded a coin in exchange for all this work, that should technically increase the supply and create a inflationary type of power at play there. Whereas if you are taking away from the pool, so the fact that Bitcoin is capped at 21 million coins creates that deflationary power over there. So I think they're both at combating each other, and there's of course speculation and different use cases. But yeah, there's miners can also, besides obviously the minting new coins, they can participate in posting and validating transactions. With Bitcoin, it's a proof of work concept. With the proof of stake tokens, you are putting up your own collateral, your own coin up on the chain, so that if you collude with other nodes, other computers in posting fake transactions, or if you get it wrong, you're penalized from your stake. Right. So that's a little more efficient than trying to come to consensus with other computers whether or not these transactions are valid. So there are different ways. Yeah, you could make money, and that's on the Ethereum blockchain, for example, it's called gas fees. So now there's this whole world of gasless crypto coming about as well. Yeah,
it's really interesting too. So, what are the perceived risks to Bitcoin itself? Because now that banks and other financial institutions are now getting into it, right? So, what do you see potentially the risk of all of this happening?
Yeah, so with banks getting involved, it's quite interesting. They'll probably use a currency of their own. Or one that's used for like proof of ownership or for smart contracts. I'm not sure if how many are getting involved with Bitcoin at the moment. I mean, countries are getting involved at the government level, right. And purchasing Bitcoin in their reserves. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of applications which it can be used for. Smart contracts being the biggest one. Yeah.
Do you see Bitcoin used in outside of this contract world? Because I'm sure there's a lot of applications behind this. So I know when we talked about this earlier, we talked a little bit about NFTs and things like that as well. So what are some other applications that's associated with this?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So I teased a little bit earlier about Bitcoin wasn't really set up to be programmed in a way to talk with other cryptos without getting into the math behind it. The great thing about Ethereum and these other decentralized cryptocurrencies is that they can be used for, so I'll just name one, for example. Uniswap, for example, is the way the protocol works is that you can do swaps on the exchange from one coin to another coin without losing a transaction, paying transaction fees. Now I'm sure they do a little bit of adjusting on the spread, so they make it up in time. But so in that case, they would use it for lending applications. So besides, obviously, you mentioned payments. There's lending. There is let's see. Lending's the biggest one I can think of. Money transfers, right. And of course the proof of ownership and identity verification as well. Yeah.
What about in actually before we continue, can you talk what NFT is, because that's also a terminology which is kind of unfamiliar to people. So that's been used around a lot as well. Yeah. And NFTs can be used in a lot of different areas too, like for example in paintings as well, and sound and music and things like this. So what exactly is NFT?
Yeah, so it stands for non-fungible token, and Elon Musk had a controversial tweet about this where NFTs are JPEGing the dollar. I thought it was a bit dismissive, but really, when you're seeing the Axie Infinity video game and people making their livelihood off this, right. There are real-world applications for this. With NFTs, really what that comes down to is a token or a coin that you prove that you own, and as long as It's similar to the case of limited edition sneakers, and people continue buying it based on who it's from.
Yeah.
So, and that's how artwork and music is working right now at the moment as well. I'm sure Wu-Tang Clan will probably come up with a new album that's only available on NFT.
NFTs only.
Yeah.
So can you explain how that actually works? Like, because artists and people in the creative space are probably wondering, how can they get involved in this? There's something completely new because they're not used to putting these technology into their products. So what does that actually look like? What are the benefits of these artists, for example? For example, it says a painter, for example.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's going through non-traditional ways to raise money. It's always something artists explore. Typically you would have to go to a bank for a loan if you wanted to host up a gallery or something. With Uniswaps and with NFTs, there's a possibility you can just do a limited edition 60 painting run and swap, take Ethereum and swap it for Bitcoin, and do all this without paying a high interest rate to a bank. So I think as we move to the creator economy, the gig economy, and as unemployment rises, I think more people will turn to these methods of crowdsourcing their next campaign.
No, that's really interesting, Aaron. So we're going to take another short commercial break, folks, and when we come back, we're going to shift gears to talk a little bit about crypto and how do you actually get started. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
आपकी रिहाइश ऐसी हो जहां जिंदगी की सहूलत मयसर हो, जो आपको बुलंदियों पर ले जाए, तो मिलिए रियल एस्टेट मार्केट के एक्सपीरियंस्ड रियल एस्टेट प्रोफेशनल अमित ओबेरॉय से। GTA में रियल एस्टेट मार्केट के हर अंदाज से वाकिफ। आपको घर खरीदना हो, बेचना हो या करना हो मुनाफे का इन्वेस्टमेंट, मेरे तजुर्बे से आज ही फायदा उठाएं। आज ही कॉल करें अमित ओबेरॉय 647-291-8102। अमित ओबेरॉय, beautiful homes you can afford.
Zoc. Now it's fully renovated. Live catering, barbecue, tandoor, जलेबियाँ और fresh naan. तकरीब आपके घर में हो या घर से बाहर, Zoc is providing full service now, and Zoc has opened a new banquet hall, garden event center. आपका Zoc देखकर लोग कहेंगे, क्या Zoc है आपका? Call right now 905-625-7786. Zoc वालों के लिए।
डिक्सी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेस पिछले 16 सालों से खरीदारों की खिदमत कर रहे हैं। हम लगातार 4 सालों से खरीदारों की पहली पसंद बने रहने का अवार्ड हासिल कर चुके हैं। हम किचनर्स, बॉश, वर्लपूल, LG, सैमसंग और जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक के ऑथराइज्ड डीलर हैं। 5 स्टार खिदमत का लुत्फ लें। हम आप सभी को टीवी सबसे ज्यादा रियायती दामों पर देने की गारंटी देते हैं। www.dixieelectronics.ca हमारी वेबसाइट पर जाएं या अभी कॉल करें 905-625-5900। सभी बहुत ही मुनासिब कीमत पर दस्तयाब हैं, जो आप बाआसानी से ले सकते हैं। At Dixie, we sell quality and deliver confidence.
अगर आप चाहते हैं खूबसूरत विजिटिंग कार्ड, साइन बोर्ड्स, बिल बोर्ड्स, तो कॉल कीजिए अमनदीप सिंह को 416-577-5128 416 डिजिटल साइन।
Welcome back to Canadian Mosaic, folks, and we are here with Aaron Sequeira. And before the break, we talked a little bit about applications of crypto and its associated risk. But let's now talk a little bit about, what does it actually take to get started with crypto? So, Aaron, can you reiterate why people are so interested in cryptocurrency or Bitcoins, for example? What are the benefits that they have in order to gain from this?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's FOMO. And it's speculation on the one hand. But there are interesting applications of it. I think there's ways you can get involved, not just from an investing standpoint, but also from an employment, like a career standpoint. There's a huge shortage right now of skills in this industry. reading smart contracts, for example, making sure that there's no bugs, no loopholes in the code that can be exploited or that can be hacked. That takes a certain skill set as well.
Yeah.
So I think there's ways to get involved, not just from like buying coins, but also from like a gaming perspective, or from a lender perspective, or just from an auditor standpoint. So auditing these smart contracts, verifying that there are assets backing these stable coins that have come out as well, which are pegged to, say, the US dollar, for example, and they have reserves of US currency actually as collateral locked away. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to get involved right now. Yeah.
No, that's really cool. So would you tell people to is it too late? Like, I think a lot of people might be wondering, like, what is this technology? What is this investment opportunity? Do you think it's too late, or people can still get in on this?
I think they can still get in on it. I mean, I'm still pretty bullish on crypto. I think it's still in its early days. I think it's doing to the web. It's doing to currency what the web did to the internet in '99. And I think people are going to look back on this as, with some FOMO as well. Like, I wish I bought Apple in the 90s.
The 90s, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So, Aaron, I think I always like to have some fun with my guests, so I do a little game to get to know our guests a little bit better. So I call this game React. So essentially, what you have to do is just what are the first thing that comes to your mind? Don't think too much. Just kind of say it out loud. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know that you're also into cars and stuff. So are you more of an SUV guy? Or are you more of a sportsback kind of person?
I'd say SUVs. Yeah, the bigger the better. Escalades with the spinning wheels.
Never a sportsback fan, like not those Lamborghinis, Ferraris, or anything.
Maybe in the future. Yeah.
Maybe in the future. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once this all this crypto stuff goes to the moon, right? And
make a lot of money.
The Lambos on the trophy.
I see. Lambo is your ultimate trophy. It sounds like. Okay, cool. What's your pastime hobby? Like, I know you're into photography, podcasts, or TV shows, or anything like that. What's your favorite pastime hobby?
Right now it's just been podcasts. I think since the lockdowns happened, I've just been putting my headphones in my ear and just listening to podcasts. There's not many places I can drive to and spend my time taking pictures. But yeah, I would love to. I mean, I know you're big on pictures too. Maybe you can share some tips with me later.
Definitely. So any particular podcast, Aaron, is it related to crypto, or is you like using this as a knowledge source to gain education on different aspects of life, perhaps?
It's funny you ask. It's I haven't listened to this in a while, but the hosts are great. It's called SYSK, Stuff You Should Know. And they cover all kinds of topics, like how Cleopatra came to power and the most random things, the history of various things. And it's quite entertaining, just to format the way they talk about something seemingly random in about an hour of podcasting time.
Interesting. So would you say, people used to watch YouTube a lot in order to gain knowledge and stuff, right? Would you say that the podcasting is a new YouTube, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about YouTube is that you can go down a rabbit hole with their discovery engine, right? And people who watch this also like these videos. Sometimes I find it's hard to get out of that bubble. So whereas with podcasts, like at least with my feeds, it's just a couple that I subscribe to, and so that way it's really curated, and then I just know when a new episode is out. Yeah,
I think a lot has changed because of the COVID pandemic. Because a lot of people, it's hard to film and do all these kind of things. Or people have just gotten used podcasts as a way to share their knowledge and share their expertise as well too. So it's a good way for people to listen, learn, as well as kind of grow over a period of time as well. So I have a few more questions before we get back into the crypto topic. What's your favorite dessert?
I love tiramisu, I think.
Okay,
that's
tiramisu.
My favorite one.
Okay. Favorite sport? Like, I know you grew up in Canada, but would you say hockey or basketball?
Basketball for sure.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Any specific team in mind?
Raptors,
Raptors?
obviously, yeah.
You have to represent Toronto, I suppose. Yeah. Okay. So Aaron, what is the most exciting thing that you like waking up to? So what are you more excited about? Crypto is one aspect of life, but what are you more excited about?
Wow. Just getting out and seeing people like you, Prashanth. Yeah, that really makes my day.
That means a lot. So I'm very honored because of that response. But no, let's get back into the crypto topic, because I think there's a lot here that people can take away from, right? So we talked a little bit about the tools that you would kind of go into getting understanding of it, but what are some strategies and tools that you can do to get started and being informed about crypto as a basic user, like a basic person that's getting involved in this?
Yeah. So I would start with the exchanges that's available in your country. You probably see the ads for them all the time, and they have a lot of informational resources on them. So typically they'll say, like Filecoin, here's the white paper, here's their website, you can read more about it. And you can see, you can do your due diligence, find out, who are their customers, what's coming up next in their roadmap. Ethereum, for example, they're moving to proof of stake to be more energy efficient, and the merge hasn't happened yet. They've delayed that to June of next year. And there's certain cryptos, currencies, they're just waiting for consensus. So they issue what's known as governance tokens. So there's utility tokens, security tokens, governance tokens, and what that gives you is pretty much voting rights. And you can vote and say, let's move to this change in the protocol. So you can read about that on these websites and where they're headed, and really comes down to your trust, your faith in them, what other people are saying in the Twitterverse as well about this stuff. So I would say do your own due diligence. Now this constitutes financial advice, but
yeah, that's true. No, I know that you're not a financial advisor, but this is just out of your interest that you've been sharing us this knowledge, which is great to hear. Because oftentimes, sometimes you learn best from a common man instead of learning from an advisor, because advisors and folks will try to sell you something that you may or may not want. So it's nice to hear your perspective on all of this. I think we talked about this question a little bit earlier too. So associated with risks related to crypto, is investing cryptocurrencies the same as gambling per se?
Yeah, that's one that comes up a lot, and I think it comes down to your risk appetite, and you have to do your due diligence. You have to have a trade plan. And I started hearing this a lot over the last couple of years, have a trade plan. So what does it mean really? Because no one really tells you what to do. So I'm going to talk about a few things I do myself and that's really how much of your net worth do you want to put towards riskiest investments. So you can put maybe 20% to real estate, hold 20% in cash, and maybe only put 15% in crypto. From that, you can diversify even some more and say, okay, what's my capital outlay for each of these buckets, right? You can pursue a certain sector like swaps, Uniswaps, and similar tokens. You can pursue utility tokens or meme tokens, and you can pursue. So you can diversify across sectors. That's another way. You can identify your buy and sell triggers, and say, so that way you're not panic selling, because crypto does this a lot. It's very volatile, and you don't do a huge sell off because and that happens all the time in the news right now. You see a ban on Bitcoin, and there's a huge sell off, and everyone picks it up when it's on sale and rides it back up. So I would say, obviously, if you're topping up your account over and over, loss after loss, that's indicative of maybe some issues. But I also don't be a Chad. Don't be checking your phone at the dinner table if it's gone up, gone down.
Like you're doing right now.
So I caught myself doing that a lot early on in my career. So I've tried to automate some of that, and you can automate those buy-sell rules as well. And for example, when it goes up to 7%, the golden rule right now, for a while has been let your profits run. But if you just sell it off at 7% because you're seeing a slight dip, and goes up to 20%, you lost out on that. What you can do is set a trailing loss at 1% below that. So when it hits 24% and it dips even a bit, you capture it at 23%. So I would say automate some of that stuff so that you're not, panic selling or
Got it.
preying on greed too much. Yeah.
So, Aaron, what's the reason for the volatility? Because, it is something that is so much more volatile than anything we've seen before, stocks, even penny stocks and things like that. So, Bitcoin is very volatile. Sometimes it can, I think we saw a bunch of that in the winter time where, GameStop and all those companies were just going up like crazy. But why is it so volatile? What's the reason behind this?
Yeah. So, exchanges are starting to clue into manipulation as well, and this is being done with stocks too, with GameStop, for example. As recently as November, this happened where there were a lot of wash trades. So you're buying and selling your own you're completing your own transactions. And the same can be done with crypto. And I think as people are moving asset classes too, you'll start seeing huge changes. But that happens in stocks. It is still an open book, and so you can still see posted transactions. So you can always act on price and trading volume information. Same with stocks. Sure, there's dark pools, but you can always act on this information. Right. And it's I think speculation's driving it too. And at the end of the day, we act as a herd, so we act on buying and selling signals from others as well. When it hits resistance and support levels, you act on it. So I think that contributes to a lot of the volatility too.
Makes sense. So Aaron, would you say that from an investment perspective, would you diversify your assets? Because crypto is volatile and it is risky, right? So would you? I mean, this is probably not a good idea, but would you put everything into crypto, or would you kind of diversify maybe 10%, 20%, or something like that? So what is your opinion on how much of your money that you want to put aside for crypto?
Yeah, it's a good question, because there's so many people right now just going yellowing on one single stock, and I would say try to find a plan that's repeatable for you, so you can play that game over and over. So that's what I would recommend. Your risk appetite may vary, your risk tolerance might differ from others. So I would say just put up as much as you're willing to part with as well, and don't go crazy. And as you start to get comfortable with trading, you can grow pretty much a small account to a large account, and then you're just playing with house money. So that's what I would recommend.
Got it. Yeah. So Aaron, sometimes right now, especially with the crypto market, it can be a bit intimidating. You're looking at each of these currencies worth so much, not hundreds, more like thousands of dollars. So do you need to be super rich in order to invest in cryptocurrency, or can anybody kind of get into the market right now?
Yeah, so there's several ways you can get involved, and you can get fractions of a coin, like fractional shares right now. With shares is a bit weird because you don't know who has the full voting right. But with crypto, you can definitely buy fractions of a coin. I still hear this all the time. People are not sure. I would like to buy one full Bitcoin, and the thing is, you don't. You can just buy satoshis, which is 1/1,000,000th of a Bitcoin.
I see.
So yeah, you can definitely get involved for as low as $50 as well.
What is your recommendation if people wanted to start, let's say, watching this show? They're like, I want to buy a Bitcoin tonight or tomorrow. What would you say that they would have to do? Break it down for us, like basic steps wise.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I mean, if you start off with something like $20, be prepared to spend maybe $5 at least in transaction fees, right?
Those are good to note as well too.
Yeah. So, and then you want to look at, so then your break even is 25. You have to keep in mind that there's transaction fees on the sell side too. So if you're constantly trading, that's going to eat in. And if you're in a place where this is heavily taxed as well, you'll have to think about that. too. Each time you're triggering a capital gain, you have to pay tax on that.
Right.
So you can start with small amounts, but take that into account. You can set a stop loss as well, and if it dips, you can buy some more. So you dollar average down, some DCA, dollar cost averaging.
Right.
So for give you an example, today Bitcoin is 60K, tomorrow it dips to 50K. You buy $100 of it today, tomorrow you buy $200 of it today, so you average down. It goes back up to 80K tomorrow, and you take profit, but you don't have to sell all of it. You can sell maybe half of it, and just wait for the next dip.
Right.
Or if you think it's going to go up, buy a little more. So that's essentially how small accounts grow into bigger accounts. There's still the buy and hold, which you can do, the HODL, the hold on for dear life, which everyone is advocating right now. So you can still do that and just wait for it to grow. There's a new concept called staking right now, which is the ability to earn coins if you lock them up. So you can also do that. Just put your stake your coin, and just to get 5% APY is what a lot of these are paying. And that's another way to get a reward on your investment too.
Cool. So we're almost getting ready to wrap up the show, Aaron. But before we do that, do you have anything to tell the audience, perhaps like a summary of what is crypto and how you can get started? So it's all up to you to give some final words of wisdom to the audience about crypto.
Sure, yeah. So I think there's several ways to get involved. From an investment standpoint, you can start off with fractional ownership, fractional portions of the coin. You can start thinking about your trade plan, how much you want to risk, and how frequently you want to trade up as you build your book. On the career side, you can get involved with the auditing side of things, smart contract development. I would say just I think this is here to stay. Even if certain coins fall out of favor, the technology I think is going to be around for a long time. It's already made a dent in the way we do things right now. So I think this is a good space to learn more about.
Excellent. So thank you so much, Aaron. This was such an informative learning experience for me, and hopefully the viewers also felt the same thing as well. And you shared a lot of good insights from your personal experience as well as what's out there in the market. And you are right. It is something that is here to stay. And the faster that we get educated about this, the better it is for our future and possibly our future offsprings as well. Kind of benefit from this as well too. So on behalf of the viewers and of Awaz Entertainment, wish you success in your investment journey with crypto as well as your career and beyond as well. So that's all we have time for today, folks. I'm your host, Prashanth from Canadian Mosaic. And if you've enjoyed the show, please do follow us on social media on YouTube, YouTube and Facebook. Remember, cryptocurrency is something new. Don't be afraid to take a chance. Thank you for tuning in, and take care for now, and we'll see you same time next week.